What's up, guys? My name is Crowbar, and today Crowbar is ready to talk about some Pokemans. But I'm not going to be talking about the Pokemans alone. I have this guy. He's a Skibbs.
Hello.
I got this one. This is Mia's. And we're going to talk about Gen 1 for a little bit. I recently went back and played Gen 1 for the first time in many years, like over 10. And it has some issues. But that's not exactly what we're talking about here. I noticed something fun when I was playing it, and it's just the age of the game and the fact that... Quit it.
Majestic.
The age of the game and the fact that the designs of Pokemon weren't finalized yet. You get some weird shit that is not current anymore. What's up, Flockers? It is Crowbar from the future, where I'm editing this, and I did an abysmal job of explaining what was going on in this video. So I'm going to do it again real fast and just take us forward and then back in time to when the video is actually happening. Myself and Skibbs and Ms. Media are going through the original 151 Pokemon and comparing their modern-day artwork and their Gen 1 sprites, and specifically their American Gen 1 red and blue sprites. The reason I'm doing this with their artwork rather than their modern-day sprites is because they don't actually have sprites anymore. They actually have fully rendered 3D models. So they're much more close to their official artwork than they are to even the most recent like sprites that I have, which I think were back in Gen 5. So stuff has still changed since then. It's not perfect, but it's the best that I could do without trying to download like something that I could render the models in, and this was supposed to be a quick and fun video, so I didn't want to go that crazy. It still took a long time to just compile the images as it was. I do want to apologize up front, though. The audio in this is going to be a little wonky. I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that it's fine, but I had a microphone set at the wrong setting, and so I am very loud and can be heard just fine, but the Miz and Skibbs being outside of the cone of pickup are a little quiet. I will try my best to keep them audible. Also, we may skip a Pokemon or two if there wasn't really particularly anything interesting to say to keep the video runtime down. With that said, I will now return you to the past. But yeah, so we're going to be in the corner. On the right-hand side is going to be the official Ken Sugimori art, and on the left-hand side I have compiled and upscaled the sprites from specifically the American version of Red and Blue. At the very, very end, we're going to take a brief look at the Japanese Red and Green, which came out a year beforehand, and they're different still. So yeah.
I did not know.
For reference, I am the outside-ish observer. I've only played Gen 1 and Gen 2, and just kind of knew it existed for many, many years.
Right.
So
I played some of Gen 1, but only in the last couple of years. I played Heart Gold,
So remakes of
the
Gen 2.
remake of Gen 2, and I played some of Pokemon Black.
Right. Gen 5, I think is what that... Yes, 5.
But otherwise, I
think.
didn't play any of the others,
Yeah.
and I've never completed one.
I have played everything up until Gen 6 and 7. I missed those two because I didn't have a 3DS. It starts off pretty okay. We get cute little Bulbasaur. This is current incarnation. They made him a little chubbier over the years. He's very... He looks the least frog-like of his evolutions, in my opinion.
this is the actual in-game?
This is... No, well, sort of. Because now, as of, like, the current gen, they're, like, 3D models. So they look...
Oh, okay.
They look almost exactly like their art.
Because that looks like a concept.
Exactly.
But this is
the quintessential Bulbasaur. This is what it would look like in the show, and that's what's going to be on the right-hand side of the screen. This is Red and Blue.
Well, yes.
Bulbasaur makes it out okay. The infamous harmonica is here.
Sure.
Yes.
And then there's a habit, because of the way they tried to give this tilted perspective in Gen 1, this is supposed to be his eye, but it's not on the front of his head.
That's a good point.
It's just like bling off to the side.
It's a little
So,
weird.
but Bulbasaur makes it out.
Derpy right now.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, you can see where he came from, and it makes sense. It's not ridiculous. And also, he looks more like a frog. Ivysaur, I think, makes it out okay. He's gotten cooler over the years. They've made him edgier.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a chip on his shoulder.
He's an edgelord.
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
a vine on his shoulder. Don't look at me.
I'm gonna have to add in like rim shots and stuff like that.
What the hell?
Yeah, this is his Gen 1 sprite. It's still okay. I think that they did a better job of making him look frog-like.
What is
was the
happening
point.
with the back?
The back sprite is just madness. It's like,
what is the perspective?
So it's like-
what is that? Does he have a tail?
here's the bulb. He could have a
Is that a
tail.
tail?
That could be a
Is that a
tail.
I always
That's a
I always
leaf.
thought it looked like a clover kind of leaf.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
And then like, I guess that's his mouth. It's just it's just a mess.
that's-
I will stress, most of these sprites at their original resolution were anywhere from 26 by 26 to 56 by 56 pixels. They didn't have a lot to work with. So this is a little nitpicky, and I'm not trying to destroy it. I just thought this was funny.
Well, it's also the fact that the original sprite for Mario is like 80% mustache.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mostly the back sprite is just a mess, but just hold on. So Venusaur kind of got uglier over the years.
Yeah, it looks very dirty.
He's just very wide. But they have officially shown now, and you can see it in Pokemon Go and other stuff. He's a toad, so like he's very like condensed.
An absolute unit, though.
He could be a unit. There we are from Gen 1.
See, that looks a little bit better.
I think it makes him look more like a monster.
Look at the back sprite.
Yeah.
He's a salad. Give him a break.
He is a salad. I just don't think they knew what they wanted to show in the back sprites, because like
They show everything. Show everything.
these leaves come away from his body, but on his back they go up. And it's like the flower is like pointed forward in the first thing, and that's actually how it is.
Flowers like come at me, bro.
Overall, the Bulba line does okay. The starters in general will do okay. We don't have to spend forever on these. So we have Charmander, cute little Salamander man. And then we have Gen 1, and it's actually pretty okay
Yeah.
for a translation of that.
It looks like he has a little bit more of a bulbous nose.
Yeah, again, contrary to the Saurs, they tried to make it look like he had sharp claws,
Yeah, 'cause
and
his arms like back. Like
yeah, like
backing.
he's fierce. The tail flame is huge.
It is.
Compared to how it ends up now. It's
Yeah.
like over half of his tail
It
is
also
on fire.
looks like half of his tail is on fire rather than the fact that he has fire
on his tail. Yeah.
The roommate is also.
Yeah, she just can't fit in frame. Charmeleon is okay.
I think he looks derpy regardless.
He does, but his design has actually grown on me over time, as Charizard has not. I actually kind of like
he looks
Charmeleon in Gen 1.
Yeah, he looks real dope.
He looks kind of punky, and I always dug this horn on the back of his
He's also really,
head.
He's also really beefy.
Yeah,
They thinned him
he's
out
got
a lot.
some muscle, and yeah, he's very skeletal in his modern incarnations. Charizard is a dragon. This is also a really good pose for modern Charizard because it makes his shoulders less noticeable. There's some bad poses for Charizard. Once you see that his shoulders kind of like pop out, it's just like, oh no. Here we have Gen 1 Charizard.
Oh, he's so like.
He's derpy.
He's so derpy.
He's like not fierce at all, and his flame is smaller.
He's really cute.
He is. Once again,
He
his
also doesn't have shoulders.
his back sprite looks kind of fierce. You can sort of see the beginnings of the shoulders, but they are still just kind of part of his body. He's much more compact. So one thing that super annoys me when people talk about Squirtle is that they assume that the squir of his name it comes from squirting, because he squirts water. Every water type Pokemon squirts water. He's called Squirtle because he's half of a squirrel. That's why he has a tail.
Oh, I never knew that one.
That's why it's described in the Pokedex as having fur.
Its tail is
What?
clearly.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It has fur on its tail.
No. Obviously, no.
He's so cute and also an old man.
Dude, from the back, he looks like an old.
Like I literally in my blue my red playthrough recently, I named him Old Man.
You know, it kind of reminds me of Master of Disguise.
Kind of.
Remember that movie?
Sure,
Yeah. Turtle.
enough for the turtle.
But yeah, you can
His
see
tail's more squirrely.
it's a bit more fluffy, and I think it's supposed to be made out of like a sea foamy sort of thing, or like maybe that's what they were going for. The sprite's a little messy, but it comes across because it's a turtle. It's kind of hard to fuck up. War Turtle again keeps the theming. We have
Okay, now
Yeah.
I can see the fur.
yeah, it's furry. It gets the ears. It gets a bit more ferocious. I always loved War Turtle. It was my I will just straight up cop to nostalgia. Squirtle was my first starter.
Same.
And we have War Turtle. His back sprite looks real derpy, and I don't know what's going on. Because, like, here's his shell.
There's his tail up.
Is that his tail?
Right to the right.
Oh, it is his tail.
Oh, wow. Never noticed that one.
Okay, I always thought it was his stomach.
No, it's his tail coming up.
And I was so confused. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Thank you. That fixes it for me, actually.
See, I was gonna say, I think his.
He's sort of-
But I think his back spread was great.
I always just liked his little tooth. He's like, "Meh." And I loved his ears. As much as I loved the Squirtle starting line, Blastoise, while I grew to love him because he was my starter, I was so disappointed that it lost all the Squirrel qualities of the first two evolutions.
Yeah, I guess, but how are you gonna squirrel him up? Just like cover him in Sasquatch fur?
It's just like they didn't follow the design all the way through, and that irks me a little bit. Gen 1 Blastoise is a bit chubby. I didn't know he had cannons when I was a kid.
Seriously?
Because, like, that's where it's supposed to be, and it just kind of looks like the shell, and on the back, it always looked like a dog to me, a little bit. It's like a dog face, I don't know.
This isn't the Sprite I remember.
This is
I think it was a little more rounded out.
This is the red blue Sprite. But yeah, so that's Blastoise. The years have been kind to Blastoise.
Maybe they're going for like a Buddha look for him.
I don't know. Okay, so yeah, there's the starters. Overall, for their generation, for the limited resources, for the fact that their designs hadn't been finalized yet, they come across okay. It starts to get weird. Caterpie's cute. It's been, again, simplified over the years.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, I've seen so many of those.
It's creepy, but it's a bug. It's kind of supposed to be.
Bad because its little thing comes.
Yeah, its crest looks more like angry eyebrows.
Got angry eyebrows.
But I never Caterpie never really bothered me too much. Metapod. Not much to say about Metapod except
there's a lot to say about Metapod. These little things. Oh, so many hours in the Viridian Forest.
yeah.
And he just wouldn't die.
I do like his sleepy eyes, but I think that's a new development because there's old Metapod.
Dude,
Again.
the eye that's staring back at you is like.
So answer me this: how is the eye staring back at you?
Well, it's because it's clearly actually set on the other side. So if
Are you?
flipped back-
I guess you're on this. That's more of a side sprite
Yeah,
than a back sprite.
he's like this.
Yeah. Okay, Butterfree, obviously, this is still, I think, debated to this day whether or not Butterfree was meant to be Venonat's evolution, yada yada yada. Butterfree's pretty cute. One of the earlier mascots. Does okay.
I mean, that's just a straight up monarch.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah, basically, it's just monarch. I always thought it looked like it had puffy lips on the back
It's
sprite.
supposed to be its nose.
But I remember being attached to this bugger because you started with Charmander, you needed confusion
Well,
to
that
get through Brock.
You could just do sleep if you got really,
Yeah.
really into it.
Yeah. Weedle.
He's supposed to be furry.
He is supposed to be furry, but they decided not to do that. Again, probably one of the more accurate translations.
Yeah.
They added these little feet pods over time. That's really not here at all.
Kind of see it.
Like some edging.
Yeah, but like the orbs definitely aren't there. Kakuna's pretty cool.
I think Kakuna looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I always thought Kakuna looked tight. I still think
Oh,
Kakuna
that's
looks
dope.
tight.
Yeah,
It's actually kind of like intimidating. I always expected Kakuna to be able to do something to you in the original game. But no, it don't.
That thing looks like it could bust out of its
Yeah.
shell and kill you.
Pooger. Pidgeman.
For pigeon.
And we got Pidgey.
He's just a fat bird.
He's a fat bird, and then from behind he's a chicken.
Yeah, no, he's like from the front. He's
Definitely
like
a chicken.
he's a sparrow that's seen some shit, and from the
Yeah,
back, he's
just like 1,000-yard stare.
yeah, he's just.
Jodo just gets really cool. I
think the crust is dumb.
I always thought it was cool. It's very bird of prey.
What'd they call it in Twitch Plays
Just
Pokemon?
a fat bird.
Bird Jesus?
Bird Jesus, yeah.
It's just a fat bird.
Yep, it's just a
fatter
just a fatter Pidgey.
I always thought
It
that
just
this-
didn't die.
This back sprite always kind of reminded me of like, Aztec warrior or something like that. Just with
Like a headdress?
with the comb back
Yeah.
feathers and stuff like that. It looked like
I will once.
it looked like he was gonna tomahawk shot.
Unlike Pidgey, his back sprite is vastly superior.
Yeah.
Like he looks like he's doing something. Pidgeot, again, fairly majestic looking for for a pigeon. I hate
Oh my god.
this sprite.
It has no neck.
It is like
What is happening?
I think it's meant to look like it's swooping, but you'll notice its leg is not connected to its body.
least not in a way that
in any way that seems to make sense. And then its back sprite is like, what just happened? Where did you come from? Like, cause it's sloping down, but then its back sprite is like leaning backwards. I hate it. I hate it so much that this recent playthrough was the first time I have ever not used a Pidgey on my team. I specifically used a Spearow until I could get Moltres. Rotodur. Common.
They're everywhere.
They are everywhere.
They're everywhere.
And he's pretty much the same as he's always been. Like, the stance is the same, the stupid mouth is the same. You could just cock that image and it would be the exact same thing. Raticate, who have actually grown on me in recent years, probably because of you.
He's so cute.
Raticate.
Oh my god.
Less cute.
Not cute.
Also, keep in mind it's the size of a large dog.
That is
Yeah.
not something you want.
Spearow. Well, again, until this most recent playthrough, I have never used. And Spearow.
Oh, no.
I love. He's just like, come on,
Whatever.
come on, really?
Yeah, I was like, did you even try?
What are you doing?
Like,
Once again, I always found him more intimidating than Pidgey, especially from his back sprite.
he looks.
He's more pointy.
Yeah,
no,
that's true. He is
He
pointy.
looks like somebody put a bit of ice cream on his head.
Okay, sure.
Good point.
Then we have Fearow. I don't know.
What is up with its neck? It looks like it's broken.
That's true.
It looks like a condor
I'll-
or a vulture.
A lot of the redesigns over the years have made them skinnier. There we go.
Yeah, that's more cranish.
That's really
Yeah.
also visually.
It's confusing because like
Yeah,
its front sprite doesn't look horrible, but you can't see that its neck is long
Yeah, and then
until
like,
you
that
get
is
to its
just
back
like-
sprite.
It looks like a naked chicken wearing a cape.
It goes from all.
Yeah, it has a cape on.
It goes from no neck to all neck.
Yeah. So he has the Pikachu. Everybody loves the Pikachu. This is actually one of the more recent
They
official
got rid of
arts.
the black on his tail.
They did, because I think that's specific
People
to Ash.
people
I
been
don't know.
commenting on that.
But they filled him back out a little bit. Pikachu got really skinny for a good number of years
He went on a diet.
when it became the official mascot, because this is where it came from.
Oh yeah,
He's so
That is a chubby little mouse.
yeah.
Um,
He looked normal from the back.
Mhm.
I remember the back a lot.
Pikachu's chubbiness is one of the reasons that I love Raichu, because more so than Pikachu.
Those big old stompy feet.
I always found Raichu cuter because Pikachu used to be chubby, and because he's also cooler. And we have Raichu,
He looks. Like
He's so goofy.
He looks like he's falling.
Or that he's-
like, oh no.
or he's going real fast.
Like,
He's like, I gotta get there.
Looks like he's tripping over his own tail.
I always just found him super cute. I love the lightning bolt tail.
He loves Raichu.
Yeah, I do love Raichu. Although,
This would be a low
as much as I love Alolan and Raichu because them surfing on their own tails is so fucking cute, but I like regular Raichu more. Sandshrew, pretty cute.
It's adorable.
Sandshrew has also gotten softer and rounder over the years in its official artwork, but it was so cute. It's just a little shrew. Once again, you'll notice a pattern that many of these things are just animals we have in our world,
Yeah.
which isn't a problem, but I just want people to remember that when they see things like Dwebble or or Ducklet, who are new gen Pokemon and are just animals we have in our world. We have Sandslash, who again, like his limbs have gotten skinnier. Also, his spikes are kind of weirder to me now. I don't know. They don't really look like they're a part of his body. Then we have Old Sandslash,
He looks like a porcupine.
who it's sort of also kind of like a pangolin a little,
Oh yeah, he does.
especially from the back.
He does look like a penguin.
Looks kind of scaly. But again,
Picture of penguins.
penguin. Insert penguin. This is Nidoran Girl, and oh good god, did she get... The time was nice to Nidoran Girl. She's cute. She's got little rabbity ears now.
I just hate them. Oh no.
Yeah.
She's a bullet with ears.
She's a bull. Oh, it gets weirder though.
What's her back sprite doing?
I don't know. It's supposed to be like her. Supposed to, well, those are her ears, and then those are supposed to be like the little back pin spines.
Oh.
But it's so low to the. It's very strange. So Nidorina, I kind of dig. I like the redesign. It's a better middle step between Nidoran Girl and Nido Queen. Oh, Gen 1 Nidorina.
It's pig.
It's a pig.
It's pig.
I don't I don't remember it being a pig.
It's straight up just a pig.
And it's got like this flippy-uppy tail, and it's lost all of its spikes. And I just don't know what happened.
No, look, the spikes just moved to the ears.
Yeah, I get, yeah.
It's real bad.
And then we got the Nidoqueen, who
Looks dumb.
I always liked Nidoqueen.
She got weird old boobs.
Yeah, she's
It's like a sports bra.
yeah, kinda.
Like a reverse sports
I know,
bra,
I-
actually.
Pulling her boobs apart.
And Nidoqueen.
She's alright.
She's very tanky in Gen 1.
Yeah.
Her back sprite, I don't know what's happening.
It's too much.
It's just a blah, 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 blah.
She looks like she's gonna deck you.
Yeah.
She does. And then we have the male side of things. We've got Nidoqueen.
He looks like
He looks
like he was just told to go to his room and he was not gonna have ice cream after
No.
dinner, and he was like, "I hate you."
I'm gonna get that ice cream. He looks a little evil. I also always found him cuter. And then we have boy.
What the?
It's some sort of mutant rabbit thing. I don't know.
It's real ugly.
By the way, these were the only male-female types in this
Yes,
whole
it's
generation.
the only one that existed. And then we got Nidorino, who gets more rhino-like and kind of tankish. Gen 1 is actually not horrible.
It's not bad.
This is, I think, partially because Nidorino was one of the Pokemon of the opening cutscene. That's like fighting a Gengar, so I think they put more work into it.
Oh, God.
Knocking over cans. Good old Nidoking, who I have always thought was, it's like one of the original, it is probably the original, like, badass Pokemon. I still think he looks pretty cool.
He's an edgelord.
Does pretty well. His back sprite is actually less
Like
convoluted
noisy.
than, I think it's because the pinks and the purples give a better contrast in what's going on exactly. Clefairy.
So cute.
They've done a lot to Clefairy over the years.
Oh,
Because that's what she started as.
so derp.
She's like weirdly spherical from behind, and like from the front, her tail looks giant, but from the back, it's not.
Yeah, there's a much smaller tail.
It's okay. It's still cute. The
Also,
idea.
she's got a bow on her back. What is that on her? What's sticking out?
Those are just little.
Spines.
Those are just little spikies
She's-
because they exist on Clefable. They get bigger. They look kind of like wings.
She
That's
looks more like Clefable
Yeah,
there, actually.
it's kind of a theme of Gen 1 of like bits getting lost or getting added that aren't there. So Gen 1 Clefable
Ooh.
has like a clay face.
Yeah, not so good.
Yeah, they needed to round that out a
But
little
but
bit.
they got the wings and like the back looks much better.
Yeah.
It's just the face is just like what? But then again, I mean look at
Not
it's the same face.
It is.
It's just
Yeah, but
for
that
s-
one is a little more rounded, so
Yeah.
it looks more natural.
So Jigglypuff did not the Jiggly line did not make it out as cleanly as the Clefairy line did.
Boy.
Jigglypuff does okay,
Oh my.
except that it has a lazy eye, and one of them's way bigger than the other. But
Just squinting.
it's still kind of like they're supposed to be aliens, which people forget that
It looks.
Clefairy and Jigglypuff are supposed to be from space.
Oh my god.
One thing I hate about the modern art is that looks like a third foot, not like a hand,
It does look like a third foot.
but Wigglytuff. So kind of cute. Again,
Very derpy.
follows Clefable's line of being derpy. In Gen 1, it was flat.
Oh my god.
It was flattened.
It looks like somebody rolled over it.
Its eyes are closer to the same size, at least, but it looks
are
like a
dead
fucking
I'm glad you didn't show me
pancake.
this in advance.
I
because,
know,
like,
this was
that
the
was
point.
A hell of a,
It was a flatmon.
I did not.
If you went around a corner and saw that, you
Happened
just
to an ear.
No, exactly. It's the most jagged thing in the game. It's because its sprite takes up the entire window that they had. So it's actually black in the corner to end off its ear, and they just translated it for some reason, even though it's not the same angle.
That's ludicrous. Oh my god.
Which actually lends more credence to the fact that it's flat.
It's fucked up.
But yeah, this was the thing that actually made me go like, yeah, okay, I've got a video.
So, you know, if we wanted to make a haunted house, I mean, we wouldn't need anything but just hide a couple of those.
Yeah.
Behind
It's like
corners.
they just slide out from under the bottom of a door.
You thought like Jason, and then we're scary. Wait,
Wigglytuff.
Gen 1 Wigglytuff.
Yeah. So that If ever there was a Pokemon more hated than Metapod and Kakuna,
Yeah.
it is Mount Moon's Zubats.
Fuck Zubat.
I'd like one of them just fine if I could cast a Wonder.
It's okay. I actually always dug that it had no visible eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know what the thought process with Golbat was.
It's all mouth.
It's all mouth.
Give it more mouth.
But
Just more mouth.
this is manageable. You can sort of see how this came from this. Like, this is a lot of mouth for a creature this size.
Yeah.
It got bigger, its mouth continued to get bigger, but like, I can still buy that thing can fly. What's that?
What?
Yeah, I remember that.
It had a tongue?
It has a tongue. It can still learn lick.
Oh yeah.
Oh my. It looks like something from those weird
It's-
bad indie games.
it's
like
got-
indie
yeah.
adventure games from the 1980s.
And it's diagonal, and I don't know. And it's worse than its original sprite. It was better in red and green. I will show you when we get that far. And its back looks fine because you can't see that. It's also its eyes.
What is
It's like it's looking at you from over a fence. We have Paris. I did look this up. Paris and Parasect did have the whole like the mushroom is the Pokemon all the way back in Gen 1. So they were thinking about that all the way there.
He's a hermit crab.
Yeah, but I don't. His mouth is just like a oval.
Well, there's just you can't really see the man. Looks
I
like
guess.
That's part of the carapace. I think that's the.
I guess that's its nose.
Yeah.
Sure.
You just can't. Yeah, I don't know. Paris always bugged me when I was a kid. He always made me. No, god damn it. It wasn't even intentional. Parasect.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah, it has no eyes because
No pupils.
it's dead. It's all the mushroom now. Same thing though.
Oh,
Also-
really creepy.
Yeah, he's like, I would not want to fight that.
No.
So actually, I feel like Parasect has gotten less intimidating over time.
Yeah.
Because it's also got the, even though it's dead, it's got this derpy smile. It's like, meh, Venomoth. I don't mind Venomoth. I have come to dislike Venomoth because in the modern games, they're always staring at you. Because their eyes are completely spherical and they follow you.
Follows you wherever you
Even
go.
in Pokemon Go, you can move them and they still stare at you.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
Ugh.
What is that? That's an alien.
It looks like a face hugger.
It's like
had
a-
baby with a butterfly.
It's like a fetus with wings?
Honestly, from the back, it looks like the tail end of a
Jet?
Southwest airplane.
yeah.
I find its wings really lazy, especially compared to its it
Yeah.
doesn't have the lacing. It looks like it's reflecting something that isn't there. Meowth, again, has gotten a lot skinnier over the years, but was quite cute
Aw.
in Gen 1.
Yeah.
And much more like Mineki Neko. Psyduck,
He
who...
looks like he's losing his shit.
Yeah, fun fact, Psyduck, not psychic type, pure water. Psyduck. Same thing.
He looks
He's just...
like someone has just told him some really devastating news, and he's like,
Either that or he's noticed that you dropped something and he's gonna get it, but he doesn't want to get it so fast that you noticed you dropped it. Just it's like I'm on.
or he's trying to gesture to someone over there that he doesn't want you to look noticeably.
Yeah,
he's like
So
it's
I'll just bend halfway over.
It's like you see that guy. No, don't look. It's like
Yeah,
that guy over there.
that guy.
No, don't stare at him.
I'm bending with my eyeballs.
Wait, who are you talking about?
That guy.
Golduck. I never quite understood this evolutionary line.
Yeah, like what is that?
Like
That one looks like he's from the Black Lagoon.
So he's very like Kappa inspired, and it's pretty cool looking. But how do you? I don't know. Golduck.
Oh,
I don't.
wow.
Old style Black Lagoon.
Even
I got
more
stressed
Kappa
weird
looking.
Bird.
Yeah, it looks like Falco actually.
A little bit.
Yeah, he's super creepy.
No.
Mankey is a pig monkey.
He really wants to rap.
Is pig monkey.
That guy looks like he's pulling off his ears.
Yes, that's it's like I can do the letter M.
He's halfway through
Mankey.
YMCA.
Yeah. And then like the back sprite, I guess he's supposed to be flexing, but his arms are noodles.
Yeah, his arms are
I
noodles.
don't like it.
It's weird.
Primeape, who
Has shackles?
so
For some reason he evolves into shackles, yes.
that's something that is worth mentioning.
Pokemon?
People wonder a lot of the times, like, where does Jinx get her robes from? Where does Gardevoir's clothes from? Sock and Throw wear karate gis. Primeape has shackles. They aren't clothes. It's part of their body.
This is the Mystique situation where it's like Mystique when she transforms
Yeah.
has clothing on, but if you touch her clothing, you're touching her. because
Yeah.
She's materializing that.
For me, it's always just been kind of like, it's just a creepy part of its body. Don't stare. Primate.
Yeah, same.
It's, yeah, pretty much,
He's got the same little,
pretty
like,
identical.
Outrageous.
He looks a little bit like he got blow-dried here compared to here.
That's why he's so
That's
angry.
like
Exactly.
not go well for
Yeah.
him.
Apparently, Arcanine was meant to take the place of Moltres. It was supposed to be the fire legendary, which is why in the Gen 1 Pokedex it's still called the legendary Pokemon. And then they decided to do 3 birds and so that they all
More you know.
so that it all be balanced. He looks like he has a mix of stuff, but he looks very canine. Not here.
He looks like a Fudo, which is a Chinese.
Are those like
It's
stone
a guardian
stone
cat.
lion
They
things?
look kind of like a lion-dragon hybrid.
But yeah, he looks much.
He's even standing in the Fudo.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like a more of a split between canine and feline.
Put a picture of Fudo.
Okay, I'll try. Poliwrath is fun. So that's just what he looks like. He's got some flair in Gen 1.
Oh, he's like, hello.
It's like I have a stance. And he also somehow pulls off looking more like a frog, especially from behind.
I don't like that. I like that, but
You
eyes
feel
are
him?
more detached as well, which gives him that froggier appearance.
Kind of looks like Battletoad.
Yeah.
That maybe that's where it came from.
Maybe.
I don't know. Kadabra gets that.
Why does he have bacon on his pelvis?
Oh yeah, that is bacon. I don't know. He doesn't really have it there.
It does.
Well, there's coloration, but I always thought it looked like he was holding a bowl.
It looks like he's holding a vacuum.
Well, to me, I thought he was holding a bowl and a spoon when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess this is his torso. His foot could be a vacuum.
Would you like some soup?
I can't have it. It'll get in my mustache.
Hot
Shit.
has saggy toes.
He does. But he has defined ribs. He's been working on his ribs. And maybe that's just where he carries his weight. He was real doughy in Gen 1.
He looks like
And what's
thin
going
version
on with
of
his
Mr.
face?
it's like the Pillsbury Doughboy with a fin on his head.
Yeah. His sprite in Gen 1 is why I never used him in Gen 1.
This
'cause-
looks like if Gumby screwed
Yes, it's
the
Gumby!
Pillsbury Doughboy.
Oh, whoa!
Unholy offspring puts Gumby and
He's
Sylveon.
totally Gumby. Machoke, I do dig the kind
He's
of
a dinosaur
crocodile.
wrestler.
Yeah. Like dinosaur motif. He looks cool.
It looks like he's got cuts on his arm.
Yeah, and like veins.
He's like actually doing the pose.
Yeah. He's a muscle man.
Come, do poses.
But once again, he's lumpy. He's like ripped and fat at the same time. Bellsprout is a weirdo. He gets weirder.
You know, now that I look back at it, this looks like the pea shooter in Plants vs.
Yeah,
Zombies.
yeah, absolutely. So Weepinbell is the one in modern day that gets all the shit because it's like, what the fuck is that thing?
Yeah.
In Gen 1, what the fuck is that
Oh
thing?
my lord.
He's like wrinkles and he's saggy and I don't like it. Weepinbell currently is super derpy. He was having a blast in Gen 1.
Hey, he looks like he's tripping on his own
Yeah.
hallucinogens there.
Possibly the best back sprite in terms of accuracy
Yeah, it looks right.
of all of Gen 1.
Yeah,
It's like, that is that thing. Tentacruel, I kind of dig. For a Pokemon I've never used, I kind of love his attitude in Gen 1.
He's done with your shit.
It's just like, no.
He's the one who sent that Nidoran boy earlier to bed without fucking dinner.
Yeah, he totally is. Geodude is a rock.
Rock with orange
Floating rock.
face.
Geodude was having a good time in Gen 1.
He, like,
He looks like a 1950s
Although
version
he
of
looks-
Geodude. Look at
although-
that hair.
yeah.
I always called him Chad. I always named him Chad.
Yep.
like a Chad.
He's definitely a Chad.
Yeah.
He looks like a Chad.
Doduo has not changed much over the years, except that it looks like a fetus
Yeah, it looks like that.
in
head.
Gen 1.
It also looks like it's like roller skating or something.
Like, wee.
Wait up, guys. Yeah, it just looks
He's
like it's.
strong from
It
a-
looks like it's not. It's. Yeah, it looks like it's not done. It's seal. Seal is a seal. Seal.
They wouldn't even try.
I love its stupid tongue. But yeah, it's a seal.
It looks like, you know,
also-
somebody was on hour 102 of their week and they just had a box of
I will
animal
say-
crackers and they're
Look at
like,
that
seal.
Like that at least looks like the horn is a part of its body. That looks like someone glued a horn on it.
Grimer. It's gonna scare you.
Bah!
I'm Sludge. So I used to hate Grimer. I hate them less now Now, I actually kind of like them now. Someone floated to me the idea that Grimer and its evolution, Grimer, Muck, Coughing, Wheezing, and Trubbish and Gardevoir are all Dittos. Garbodor, thank you.
Dittos that had like toxic poison or something like that?
Basically, they tried to mutate to adjust to a toxic environment and became something new. And I dig that more than some sludge came to life.
So what you're saying is, if we had kept a clean environment, we'd have less Pokemon.
Yeah, no Grimer. Muck, it's Muck. I love that they kept its hand. It's Muck.
I'm a touch it.
Here it's sort of like, hey, what you doing? And here it's like, I'm going to touch you.
I did not ask.
There's that.
Yes.
It's Cloyster. A lot of people don't like this particular sprite because it's sideways, but it's because the Pokemon is the pearl.
Right.
It can move in the shell. I always thought that was cool.
It looks like a vagina.
Yeah, it also looks like you can see the spikes more. Krabby is a crab.
It's a crab.
It's literally a crab that we literally have in our world. It's a crab.
I think this is a
Somebody
case
found
of
out
somebody
shit.
worked real hard on those claws, and they're like, oh crap, I gotta get the rest of the Pokemon.
Where's the rest
in
of
there."
the crab go? Yeah. Kingler, I don't know why I dug when I was a kid.
He's coming at you.
He's one of the only Gen 1 Pokemon that has a signature move
Oh yeah.
that isn't special, like isn't a legendary. His Crabhammer. It's the only Pokemon that learns it, and he just whacks you with his big ass claw. They can't seem to decide whether or not one of his claws is small, or if it's just perspective. I liked him in Gen 1 because he had these badass claws,
Right.
but on his back sprite, one of them is small.
What?
I don't know why.
I don't even know what he's doing. Is he trying to crack a nut there?
It's trying to. It's like fighting with his own claws. There's no other crabs around, so I'll fight this Voltorb.
Yeah.
It's a ball that shocks you. It's a Volt Orb. Yay! Once again, this is a Pokemon that I've grown to love more over time because of Poke Theories. And the standing one for this one is that it's a Haunter that possessed a Pokeball, and it can't get out now, which is why they explode, because it doesn't actually hurt them. It just makes an explosion. And then Electrode sure does roll over and get bigger. Execute, for some reason, had one really big egg.
Yeah.
But he's not down here, which means someone on the creative team
The master egg.
was just like, I'm gonna do a cool egg thing. They're coming at you, and it's like, no.
No, there's just a bunch of egg.
Cubone. Okay, so Cubone is an interesting one. This is actually why I decided to do this video. Cubone is pretty similar. But one thing that I noticed in particular is that Cubone has spines that don't exist in this picture. I have seen them on Go. They do still have two little vestigial spines on their back. Pretty damn similar. The skull's a little more rounded, but that's just changed. On the back sprite, it's more angular. Marowak has no spines, has a tiny little spike on its tail, and the skull kind of becomes its own skull. Yeah, it's I think that's just perspective, actually. I don't know. Marowak in the game
What the hell
has
is that?
his boxing gloves and boots, and his skull is not angular and looks nothing like Cubone's skull, but specifically he has Stegosaurus plates on his back that never show up again. They're gone forever now. And this last playthrough is the first time I ever bothered to catch a Cubone and take it all the way with me. It's my tank. Well, no, it's not a tank, but it's my ground. It's the one that knows Earthquake and kills everything. But yeah, I was just like, what are those supposed to be? And I still don't have an answer beyond they didn't know what Marowak's back looked like yet. So I just thought it was interesting. Hitmonlee has spring feet and has not changed a goddamn lick.
Not a bit.
You know, I fought a lot of those, and it always seemed when the attack was going for it, whatever the sprite attack was, it was always very pleasing for me. I don't know why. Whenever it went into that little circle on his foot,
Yeah.
Where it lined up perfectly.
Yeah, it's like thunder shock happens right here.
Yeah.
It's like that's the weak spot.
Yeah.
Fucking got him.
Yeah. And it's just like that's the stupidest thing ever. But
No,
it's
that's
still...
kid logic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like nobody thinks that these are clothes. Like that's part of his legs. But for some reason, for other Pokemon, they're like, oh no, it found clothes. It's like,
Oh yeah. He also looks like somebody hiked up their pants over their face.
yeah, all the way over their head, and then like put their arms out the sides,
Yeah.
out the pockets. Chansey and Chansey.
What?
Yeah. So
He looks very pleased with
they
himself.
once again, I feel like this is them running out of room. Because they needed her to be egg-shaped, and they spent so much doing the sphere that they just had to, like, squish a head in there.
Like the head's being pulled backwards
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. But, you know, it's, again, concept hasn't really changed. I do like its log foot. Goldeen.
It's a fish. It's a sassy fish.
All it does is flop around.
So, you want to know why I hate Goldeen? How is this horn going to stab anything?
It's true. It's facing the wrong direction.
And it's not
New backflip.
it's not facing the wrong direction that time. But I also like that it looks annoyed that you put its horn on wrong.
Yeah.
It's like giving you the stink eye.
It does look very diva.
Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime.
Oh my god. He gained a finger.
Oh my
my
god, he
God,
did! They did the forefinger in the Oh, whoa.
Mind blown.
They normally undo that. So once again, they skinny fight him. He's way chubbier here.
Yeah. Also, his ears are more perky now.
Yeah,
They look a little droopy.
They're more like a hat, whereas here they're... He also, like... He just ate someone.
Yeah, he did.
He does look
And
like
he thinks
the
you saw
clown
him.
From It.
Yeah.
He definitely looks
But
like
he's
Pennywise.
also sure he can convince you there's a wall between you two.
Yeah. Magmar
Has
has
a boob head.
has boobs for his head.
Now with the butt head.
Didn't used to.
No, I mean...
That's more of a butt head.
They look more like fire to me in that one. For some, I think it's probably because it's like slightly top down.
Yeah.
Actually, I see a little bit of influence of like Beavis and Butthead in the modern version there.
Sure,
bit.
a little bit.
Also, those things, the ankle bracelets,
Collar.
and the
Yeah.
that's just him.
It's just his skin. Yeah. I don't know. I've always hated Magmar, and I don't know why. It's not his fault. I just always hated him. Lapras is pretty, still fairly pretty, but yeah, it's also like weirdly more oblong here and less oblong here.
The eye didn't really change though. Like the way the direction.
Yeah.
Different, but the smugness factor remains.
He does look a little creepy in this one. It's like, I know you're gonna get on my back.
Yeah.
You know you're gonna get on.
You know you won't run.
We're gonna go a place. I will have a story about Lapras in a follow-up video for this because Lapras has some problems in Gen 1, but we'll get there. It's not what this is about. Ditto.
He did everything.
He's derpier somehow.
Yeah.
And I like that he's waving. He's like, hi, I'm a goo.
I'm a failure of a lab experiment.
It's a Eevee. And might as well be the current mascot of the franchise. It's a
What the
Eevee.
A
hell?
little poofier.
So Eevee is supposed
These are like more cat.
Eevee is supposed to be like a cat fox dog hybrid.
The back sprite looks more like what it looks like now.
Modernly, yeah, it's way more feline here. And then we get Vaporeon.
Sure, that's alright.
Yeah, I never liked its tail because it looks forked rather than finned.
Yeah.
And its back sprite is having some stuff, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
It's doing its thing.
But I always did like its little collar. And then we have Jolteon, and we have Jolteon. Pretty,
It looks like he's being eaten by
Yeah.
his neck fur.
or yeah, he's just the statickiest of kitties. And then we have Flareon, who I don't think its modern interpretation is as cute. Like, it looks so freaking fluffy here and lovable, and like it's still very cute in its modern, but it's so much skinnier.
Back spray is all tail.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the Eevees did pretty okay. Porygon does not want to exist. Like, look at its back eye.
Let me die.
It's like somebody was like, okay, how do we import from one medium to the other? Just like put it at the lowest resolution. Oh boy, that's a lot of polygons.
We don't have time. Ship it.
Yeah.
But no, like it's back sprites. Like you told it to do something, and it's staring at you the whole time. I don't know. Kabuto, who I always preferred to the Ammonites.
Yeah, we're in the real obscure ones. Just what is that?
I don't.
What is the back sprite?
It's its shell. Like it's slightly cocked up, but for some reason they moved its eyes from the front of its head to the back.
Yeah,
and
I think that's just an incomplete sprite. It just looks like
they
a discarded helmet.
Yeah, they just did not finish it.
Yeah.
Articuno is graceful and nice looking. Little less so here.
Oh my god.
It had a bit of a scrunch.
That is absolutely.
That bird squawks. That bird squawks.
This is another case of somebody is like, they drew the body and they're like, damn it, I have to get the wings in there.
And the tail.
And its head is cocked back at a really weird angle.
Like it just smells.
Yeah. And the tail is like two tails.
It's about to ask to speak to your manager.
I'm okay with Mewtwo's design. He's not.
Belly becomes his penis, becomes his tail.
Yeah. That revelation
He's a clone. Give him a break.
wasn't helpful.
It also his horns got chopped off. What is that?
He's very ET,
Yeah,
Gen 1.
It's supposed to be ET.
And then as a bonus, we have Mew, who is adorable. Although again, it's like, how did you get this from this?
Cloning. Bad, terrible cloning.
Real bad cloning. And then Gen 1 Mew is just kind of like, woo! You found me, holy shit!
Standing as opposed to like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the 151, and obviously there were some changes. But real fast, I can pull up. Red and green came first. I'm not gonna pull all these up individually necessarily, but like, look how flat Venusaur is.
It's just getting flatter.
Oh shit, that ain't gonna work.
Oh no.
But yeah, like he starts off like a toady, and
Life is just
and
pushing
then
him down,
the
man.
bulb just goes like bleh.
Look at fucking
Charizard.
Charizard.
Yeah, what's happening with his hand?
What's happening with everything?
Look at Charmeleon, and it's very tight. Look how badass Blastoise looks
I know, yeah.
compared to Fatstoise. And then okay, so the
Fat shit.
the Pidgeline is the same pose, and I love that.
It's really good.
Instead of the weird mutant Pidgeot,
Firo looks really cool.
Firo, you can see his neck. All Pikachu and Raichu look like they might have some problems. Once again, Nidorino is still a pig, but Nidoqueen looks a bit more pig-like than she does there. Clefairy makes it out a bit cuter.
God, Wigglytuff and Jigglypuff are no better.
But they aren't flat. But look at Golbat. It's just normal Golbat. What did they do?
Meowth looks terrible.
Meowth is just straight up a Maneki Neko. Persian is like on ice and can't stand. And then I love the jokes.
He's getting buff.
He's like, I got a little muscle and I got bigger muscle and like I have more arms now. Weepinbell looks like a monster in green. It's melting.
Yeah. I think the Kingler there with its claw like out like on a bitch.
Yeah, it's like rawr. I kind of like both of these way better.
It's barely visible.
They're both comical. Like he's falling over and he's hiding.
Chansey's adorable.
Yeah, and much more egg-shaped.
Yeah, she like doesn't look fucking.
I think part of it is that they wanted the sprites to be bigger, so, which is why they redid some of them. Ditto looks sadder though.
He does.
He's melting. Porygon does not look like it's in pain.
Yeah, the Vaporeon Jolteon S look very similar.
They look a lot more wolfy
Yeah,
to
they
me.
do. Very similar to each other.
You can see Kabuto.
Oh, yeah.
He's not just a shell. Aerodactyl actually looks cool.
That too.
And then the birds look actually kind of pretty.
They look though like logo.
Yeah.
What is happening to me?
Look at Mew.
Don't know what's happening to me.
So you'll note that like they fixed they fixed Mew's front sprite, but they kept his back sprite because like green Mew has a shell head. Switches back over to the webcam. So I have also never recorded a video like this before, so I'm not 100% sure how this is going to turn out. Should be fine, but I don't know. And this was just a fun little thing I wanted to do because, again, I noticed that the sprites were really weird. thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it in some fashion. There is going to be a companion piece to this where I actually talk critically, not negatively, but critically about my experiences playing Gen 1. But that I will shoot at a later time when it's not so late. So I hope you liked it. If you did, I would appreciate a little thumbsy uppy, because I keep forgetting not to ask for those things. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Yeah, do good, be kind, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.